biggest winners in this market are the handful of companies that are working on a vaccine for COVID-19. But it's the incredible move in Novavax, which is up roughly 900% for the year, including a monster 62.5% move, or $15 just to date. Is this sustainable? That's what you need to know. At the beginning of this year, Novavax was a tiny biotech company developing a new flu vaccine. Now it's a much larger entity that's making real progress in the fight against the pandemic. Last time we learned that Novavax could potentially get nearly $400 million in milestone payments from the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, which is a very high-powered coalition, to help develop and manufacture their COVID-19 vaccine candidate. Talk about a vote of confidence. Now, you need to be very careful with these white-hot biotech stocks. In the end, we only need one vaccine for this thing. If Novavax stumbles, the stock's going to get crushed. Plus, they do not have a great track record. But this could be a big deal, which is why I do want to take a closer look with Dr. Stanley Erck, the president and CEO of Novavax, to learn more about his potential vaccine for COVID-19. Dr. Erck, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you for having me, Jim. Glad to be here.
Okay, so, Doctor, please tell us why you think this vaccine for a very difficult illness will be efficacious.
Well, it builds on, we have a lot of experience with vaccines against infectious diseases, emerging infectious diseases. We've actually made two corona vaccines over the past 7 or 8 years, and that have shown protection in animals. We've made an Ebola vaccine that has shown 100% protection in non-human primates when challenged with Ebola. So we know how to do this, and so this is the one virus that has stuck around and has been now declared a pandemic. We're using the same platform that we've used successfully in previous emerging diseases. So now our goal is to do in parallel two things. One is continue to show in increasingly mature animal models and ultimately in humans that the vaccine produces a safe immune response. And secondly, is to start the process of scaling up so we can have a crack at making enough doses for global distribution.
Okay, so please give us the details of the CEPI funding. We know that it could be up to $384 million, but they already given $4 million invested in March. But is this for milestones? If you make certain milestones, you get money, and if you don't, the money doesn't come your way?
No, I think this is different. So we all realized, and Novavax realized this back in January, is that if we do what we always do, is once the gene sequence is known, we make a clone and start animal trials, and start repeating animal trials with more animals, and we get into humans and we wait for human data, we're going to wait 6 months. And so we can't run a pandemic program by waiting. Every month, as you know, as you see in the newspapers, a lot of people die, a lot more people get the disease. So you have to go and make a bet that you have to scale up the process. And so our intention is to make enough doses so that we can vaccinate, so that we'll have at the end of the year maybe as much as 100 million doses of this vaccine, and be able to have the capacity to make 1 billion doses next year. And so you have to do those two things in parallel. So what did CEPI do? CEPI agreed with us. They stepped in. They are very familiar with our technology platform, as is the Gates Foundation and others. And they recognize that nothing's 100%, but it has a high probability of being successful. And so they agreed with us and said, we will give you the money to go into large-scale manufacturing, to acquire large-scale plants, and the equipment that goes into those plants early is expensive, and to reserve space. So this money not only funds the clinical trials in phase 1 and phase 2 that we're going to be doing starting in May, but it also funds the acquisition of much larger capacity.
All right, now, we had Robert Kramer on last week. He's the CEO of Emergent Bio Solutions. Now, he was mentioning that the company's going to be a contract manufacturer for several companies, including Novavax. What is your partnership relationship with them?
Well, so they are neighbors of ours, and we've known them for a long time. They have developed similar technologies. So we transfer our technology to them, and they have the ability to make what's called GMP material suitable to go into human trials. And so we started early on. You start at a very low scale, let's say 50 liters, and that's what we made. We've used to make our first GMP batches. In fact, right now, material from that first 50 liters has been purified and is in the release process and is being shipped to Australia for our first phase 1 clinical trial. And in the meantime, they're also scaling up to the 2,000 liter and ultimately to the 4,000 liter scale. So then you can make tens and hundreds of millions of doses a month at various plants. And we'll take that technology and acquire larger facilities and make a lot of doses. So they've been very instrumental in getting us from the 50 liter stage to the 2,000 liter stage.
Okay, so if I were your money manager, say, in the old days, which is what I did, I would say, look, both your company and you should take advantage of what could be over-enthusiasm, stock up 15 points today, raise some money for your company, and also be prudent and take some money off the table yourself. Will either of those options or both be considered by you, Doctor?
The first one is what's of concern to me right now, and we've done that. We've as we announced, we've raised $300 million in the past 60 or 90 days, and that will allow us to achieve the goals that I've just stated.
Okay, that's important because, again, I don't want people to come in and say, look, this is a done deal in the sense that you're doing it, with primates, and they necessarily have the same DNA as humans, so that we would think that it would be as safe and also as efficacious? Yes,
there's a lot of learning you can have. I mean, as I say, we've got a lot of history. We know what we've done in mice translates into non-human primates, and what we do in non-human primates always translates into humans. What you want to do is measure antibody levels in general, and then you want to measure neutralizing antibodies. Higher levels of neutralizing antibodies are considered correlates of that the vaccine will be protective. And that's what we're doing right now. We're in baboon studies and looking to get very high levels of neutralizing antibodies.
All right. Well, look, we have to wish you the best of luck. It's really important for our entire nation that you come up with something. I don't want to put too much pressure on you. Obviously, the whole country's putting pressure on you. But I want to thank you for coming on Mad Money. That's Dr. Stanley Erck, CEO of Novavax. Always good to see you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, so guys, they have real funding, but please, let's be careful. Up $15 is a big move, and there won't be good news necessarily tomorrow, okay? I want people to be careful, and of course, I'm rooting for a vaccine from Novavax. Mad Money's back after the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @JimCramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Kramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.